Hey there, it's Radiance, and welcome to my channel. So, I was thinking about goals, aka things we want to accomplish. If you've followed my channel for any time, you know that I'm big on words. And so, even right now, I'm working on a goal. And for this project, I was given a so-called deadline, but I like to use the word goal line because to me it has life. It's not dead. So that's one way I use my word. But I was thinking about, accomplishments, goals. And, I feel like a lot of the times, I'm going to liken it to spirituality or religion. In pretty much every religion or spiritual practice, there is a promise given, right? In some, it's a promise for what happens after we leave this life. In some, in this life, it's a promise that if you do X, Y, and Z, or live a certain way, this is the promise that you'll have. In others, it's more so of a following tenets, and that, in time you'll achieve a certain state if you continue to be in alignment with the certain practices and tenets. And so the reason why I bring up promise so much is because I feel like promise is a word that's so tied to religion and spirituality. But in the, way and movement of a goal, of accomplishment, I like to feel like what's most important is the promise that you make to yourself, or the agreement that you have with yourself, right? And so it's really, really important for you to, I believe, focus on, that promise to yourself. And if you haven't come into agreement with yourself, start now, start getting clarity about that. But the other thing I want to say is that, to me, what's most important in your steps and your movement towards an achievement, to an accomplishment, to a goal, is what you do between, right now where you are and to your goal, right? And so I liken it to, while promise is one thing that I believe is good to have with yourself and just you, right? And you can have it with your higher being, your spiritual power, but you and you face you. And I truly believe that we are a human reflection of our Creator, our ancestors, of our God, right? So I truly believe that having that promise is important, but the focus, and the most important focus, should be on the purpose, not necessarily the process. Because sometimes, and I'm going to start with myself. So I was given a goal, and it was in reference to work that I'm doing. It was centered around content creation, and I was given this goal. So initially, I had a number. I had a goal of what I wanted to accomplish. And at first, because the number was bigger in my mind, or seemed larger, and I had never done it before, I went through so much. I actually started off with trying to write down some ideas. I started with, categories. And then for each category, I was trying to break that down to X, Y, and Z amount of content. And a couple things happened in that process. I found out that I wasn't happy with, and I said happy with, I didn't feel like what I wrote out initially, or what came up for me, was really in alignment with what I really wanted to do. I felt like I was forcing it. So I went back to the drawing table, brainstormed again, and actually what ended up happening was I did some brainstorming, and I threw a lot of what I had out, some of the things I kept doing, and I decided to do what I loved. Now, stick a pin in that, because I'm going to bring that back to my point. So I started doing what I love. It's like being in the kitchen. I like to cook what I love. And that's pretty much what I did, actually. I get in the kitchen, I would get before the camera, and I began to actually cook and create what it is that I loved, what I enjoyed. And it was challenging in some aspects because this was new to me. However, it also helped me to create and to be fully in it and to learn some things. The other thing I learned was that there were other parts of me, other things that I wanted to share, right? And so it wasn't just about cooking. I'm not one-dimensional. None of us are. I love to cook. I love culinary arts. I love nutrition. I love health. I love personal development. I love speaking. I love writing. I love traveling. I love solving problems. There's so many parts to me, and there's more to me than that, but those are key things that, are a part of me. And so then I began to realize that I really wanted to, encompass these things. And actually that's why my channel, if you look at different videos, you'll see that I have different things that I share, right? Some food related, some personal development, and sometimes in the middle. And so with that being said, even though I sometimes was frustrated in doing this, it actually taught me some things, and it actually brought me clarity. So what happened was I still was like, what am I going to do? What is this? Whatever. And do you know what helped me the most through the process of all of this? When it finally made the most sense, it's when I actually sat down. I sat down mentally. I did it in the physical. And I began to look at my purpose. Yeah, the purpose. Why was I doing this? Why was I creating this content, right? What was the purpose? What was the end goal, right? And so in focusing on my purpose, right, which was to be able to take what I had inside of me, my gifts, talents, skills, and abilities, and to use that, to put that out there, to inspire you, to help you, to share with you the things that are joyous to me, right? Maybe to share with you what we have in common that is joyous, that makes us happy, right? And in doing this and looking at, and also to help myself, because one of the things that happened to me, I promised myself some time ago that I would actually start this journey to creating, to sharing it on a platform, to sharing it with the public, to sharing it with others. And honestly, I got stuck, and I got in my head. And sometimes I would create things and not put it out. Sometimes I would just stop at the process of just brainstorming. And so, believe it or not, in me creating and sharing what I'm sharing with you on this channel, it actually helped me to, guess what, be in alignment with my promise to myself. So that was one. In looking at, all the things I was doing, and I said stick a pin in it before, going back to, looking at what I loved, right? And creating what I loved. Well, I realized that some of the challenges I faced was because I wasn't prepared, right? So I had to also look at what it took to be prepared, right? And I realized that sometimes in that process of, going towards the goal and in creation, there are things I had to do before I even got to the point. Like things I would do before I sat down here to record this video, right? And so what I realized is that in looking at what I loved, not everything that I love to do was going to be easy. Case in point, I love cooking. I do it a lot. But I didn't realize that I would have such a challenge in tying in actually cooking what I loved, carrying that message and that share across the video, right? And then sitting there and doing what I love to do, but also showing you how to do it or sharing with you how I do it, and then delivering that in a clear manner. That honestly, and admittedly, was challenging for me at times. Was it fun? Yes. Was it challenging? Yes. So with that being said, I realized that some things didn't translate over. And I realized that once again, I didn't want to just stop myself at just doing that. So I began to not just do, culinary creations and nutritional information. I began to sit down and just have one-on-one conversations with you, showing lessons from my life, showing lessons from, people that I've talked to, clients that I've worked with, in life, and in business. And so this is why I'm here today, actually. I was able to meander through all of that and get to some clarity, which helped me to really sit down and look at my purpose. So while yes, the process is the process, and it does help you get towards, your goal and your accomplishment, if you ever find yourself getting off track, if you have some confusion, if you're stuck, if you feel overwhelmed, if any of that comes up for you, if you even feel like quitting, pause, take a step back, sit down in your physical, sit in a chair, sit on the floor, go for a walk outside, sit under a tree, sit in the sun, and sit with yourself and remind yourself that while the process is the process, what really matters is your purpose. And ask yourself, and then remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing. What is your purpose? What is your intention? Who do you want to touch? Who do you want to speak to? Why do you want to speak to this person or that person or this audience, right? I'm here because I really want to touch, inspire, and uplift you watching this today. So, focus not necessarily on the promise or the process, but the purpose. And when you get back to your purpose, anytime you go off kilter, you go off track, it will then help you through your process. So I hope that this video has helped you. And if it has, please give it a thumbs up, like it, share it with a friend, and share with me. I want to know, what has come up for you in your promise. Where in that have you gotten stuck? And what is your purpose, truly? What is your purpose in life right now? Do you have a purpose to release weight? Do you have a purpose to maybe create content like this? Do you have a purpose to, get to a mile run? What is your purpose right now? And how is that inspiring and helping you through your process? So yes, share that with me. I'd like to know that. And if you want to see more content like this, please subscribe to this channel, and also click the link in my bio and join my free VIP group. Come on over to this community where we share more love, more life, more purpose-driven, reminders of the greatness that you are and that you possess. So thank you so much for joining me. And until the next time, have an awesome one and continue to be great.